All right, welcome to the video. If you're the type of guy who needs everything wrapped up nice and gentle, this one's probably going to piss you off a little bit. So, fair warning. If you haven't been here before, I'm Drew. I coach guys who are doing well, actually doing well, successful on paper. But we've got this one area, or two or three, where they're just not, where they know they're capable of way more, and they're just not doing it. And the reason's always the same, and I'm going to beat you over the head with it over the next 20 minutes because apparently that's what it takes. So here's the whole video in one word: later. Okay, that's it. That's what's fucking killing you. It's not your schedule. It's not your genetics. It's not the economy. It's not whatever story you've got. It's that you've decided you'll do what's important later on Monday. Next week, next month, when the kids are older, when work calms down, when you finally get back from that trip. I don't know, when God comes down from the heavens and grants you a mighty white steed and says, "Forward, my son." It's not going to happen. It's never going to feel right. And I need you to actually listen to this and not just go, yeah, and move on to the next video and kind of just forget everything, because without the implementation of what I'm fucking talking about in these videos, again, it's the same thing. And that's it right there. Don't implement this stuff later. Don't start on Monday. Finish the video. Implement. Yeah. Every time. Man, there's no version of your life where everything just settles down and you finally get to do that fresh start and you're fully rested. You've got this clear runway and everything's just lining up for you to do everything that you want to do. That's not coming. It's like a theoretical future that you have in mind, just to make yourself feel good about not doing the shit that you need to know, or you need to do right now. And I got 3 stories that I want to talk about from my own life, and you'll notice they really have nothing to do with each other. One's about my health and fitness, pretty important as a coach, right? One's about my money and my business that I run, coaching these guys. And one's about my relationship with my girlfriend. 3 totally different parts of my life, but it's the exact same lesson every time because they all stem from the same problem, right? So, and that's procrastination. So let's get into it. Okay, body first, because it's probably the one you've been lying to yourself about the longest. If you're watching this video and you're not one of my clients already, chances are you're out of shape. Or maybe you're not out of shape, but you're not quite where you want to be. You're not quite where you should be or need to be. You don't look like my clients do, right? You don't need me to tell you this. You probably felt it this morning. When you looked in the mirror, when you sat down and you felt your belly rolls kind of poking out. And there's basically 2 excuses that you have. Which is kind of impressive, man. Usually it's just one big excuse, but you got these 2 running simultaneously. One is, I just don't have the time, right? The second one is a little bit quieter. It's the one you don't say out loud. It's probably just not possible for me anymore, right? Like somewhere in there, you've probably half decided that being in genuinely great shape, top 1% shape, truly dialed in, that's not for you. That's for other guys. It's for guys that are younger, guys with less going on, guys who don't have all the responsibilities and shit that you got to take care of in your life. It's not for you, not now. Maybe you had your shot before you started your business, before you started this new job, before you got married, before you moved in with your girlfriend, whatever it is. You had your shot and it's gone. So you don't even really try, because why try what's not possible? And I know this one because I've lived it. When I was deep building my first business, it was a painting business. I painted houses. If you've seen The Irishman, I actually painted houses. I didn't do what they were doing. But if you haven't seen that movie, you won't get that reference, and you'll probably just think I'm an idiot. But yeah, when I started my painting business, I was 19 years old, and before that, I was like an athlete. I played football, rugby, hockey, like all these sports growing up. I was always in really great shape. And this was the first time that I actually fell out of shape. And albeit I wasn't fat, I wasn't crazy or anything like that. But for my standards, I was definitely out of shape. I was a little fluffy. I lost my abs. Okay, I didn't have abs for the first time in my life, right? And I told myself these exact same excuses. Drew, man, you're working all hours. You don't have time for this. And it felt so true, and it was so easy to tell myself, and it probably feels true to you too. I know it does, but trust me, man, it's bullshit. It's never been about time. It's about your priority wearing a little disguise, telling you that you don't have the time. So you don't actually have to look at that main issue, which is where your priorities actually lie. And the worst part, the part that really, really fucked me up, was I had started to believe that second little lie too, that maybe I just wasn't going to be that guy anymore. That, the in shape, energetic, sharp, fucking shredded, sexy version of me. Sexy 18-year-old Drew. That's crazy. But like that version of me was kind of behind me, and now I was just someone else, and I would never get back to that, and I accepted that. Well, I almost accepted that. But yeah, these were like thoughts that I would carry around every day. It's like this little voice in the back of your head at all times. You're not who you could be. It's a disgusting feeling. It's terrible. Terrible, not just hearing it, but in terms of what it does to you and how it makes you show up for certain things in your day-to-day. It's gross. And a lot of you probably experienced this feeling that I'm talking about. So I changed it. I stopped trying to be a hero. That was the whole thing. Because previously I would go like, all right, fuck this shit. Like, I'm done. Like, I gotta go 6 days hard, 2 hours a session. I gotta eat chicken and rice every day, fucking meal prep. I'm gonna fix everything this week. And yeah, it would work for like 3 days and it would just fall apart. Because, I was busy. That wasn't just an excuse. It was true. I was fucking busy. And when people try to do that, like a lot of my clients have done this. A lot of people that I chat with in the DMs, they fall into this. They go balls to the wall, they go crazy, and then they just fold by midweek, and then they feel even worse because they couldn't stick to it. So I just eased myself into it. I did what I could. I started with like 3 days a week, 45 minutes. It was so stupidly simple. I literally could not come up with an excuse for it. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're Elon Musk running fucking SpaceX. You can work out for 3 days a week doing 45-minute sessions. Like, there is literally no excuse for that unless you're working in the sand mines of Cameroon, getting whipped in the back if you take a 30-second break, right? Like, obviously there's extreme circumstances, but if you're in a first world country, you're watching this video on fucking YouTube, you live a pretty comfortable life, right? You can find 3 45-minute sessions. Anyways, once I did that, those voices in my head started getting quieter, The one about not having the time obviously disappeared because I had 45 minutes. I had time. I didn't have a ton of time, but I have time. Everyone's got 45 minutes. It's not real. You're just telling yourself it is. And the bigger one died too. The it's not possible one, because I watched it become possible right in front of me. Once I started small and I started doing these little changes in my day-to-day life, the energy came back, the fog lifted. I started feeling like myself again, and I realized it was never that I couldn't do it. It's that I never actually decided to try, right? I'd just been telling myself a story, so I didn't have to try and risk finding out I could have had it the whole time, or risk failing when shit got tough, And that's the part that hurts the most. Like, it was right there the entire time. I literally just had to take action on it, right? Yeah, man. So different part of my life completely now. Let's talk about money. This one's got nothing to do with the gym. So if you tuned in for the fitness, just stay with me, because this is the one that I think will actually get some of you and might resonate the hardest. So here's your problem. Um, you know that one move that would actually like change your entire life, right? If you can hit like a specific number with your business, if you can hire this one person, if you work with this mentor, if you work with this coach, do that program, make that one investment. That thing that scares you a little bit because it's got real money or real risk attached. But you know it has like massive potential to change your life and literally like, I don't know, 5x, 10x your income. And you keep going like, yeah, I want to try it on my own. I'll do it if it doesn't work out. I'll do it later, right? Once I've got more of a cushion, once I've built up enough money to make the investment, once this year calms down a little bit so I have time to put into this program, this mentorship, training this new guy, whatever it is. I just got to like get past point A to do point B. And you probably feel pretty smart for doing that. You know, you're doing the responsible thing. You know, you're being responsible with your money. You're fucking not, man. I can tell you straight up. And I'll tell you what's actually going on. You're too scared to bet on yourself. And you refuse to admit to yourself that you have fear. So you use this excuse of, oh, I need to do this first before I can do that, to make yourself feel better about being scared, right? That's it. Like, that's all like this, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to figure this shit out. That's where all that's coming from. It's from a place of fear. So let me tell you about the dumbest, smartest thing that I did all this year. So I come back from my trip, and I don't know, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you probably know. I did 3 months in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos. Just fucking incredible, once-in-a-lifetime experience. I didn't take on any new clients during that time. I just managed my existing clients. I was posting a lot less on Instagram. Yeah, it was like a pseudo working vacation, right? Obviously not in like business growth mode. But anyways, yeah, because about a month after I got back, I actually had to sit down and like look at what was going on, and it was fucking bad. I had no new income coming in, no fucking leads, like literally none. My Instagram engagement was in the shitter because I'm barely posting, and I had like no momentum, none. And I'm sitting there doing the math, and I realized like, fuck, I'm not gonna make the money that I need to make this year for my other goal, which is moving to South America, right? I got my eyes on a few Airbnbs. I gotta be making a specific amount of money if I want to do it. It's not this whole big thing. I don't need to explain it to you. The important part is I sat down. I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna hit my goals. I'm not even gonna come close. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It felt like my life was kind of falling apart in that moment. I'm sitting there seriously thinking like, maybe I should just go get a job, right? I was making more money in the job that I was working before I started this business. I could just easily go back there and make what I was making there. Something where money shows up every 2 weeks, no matter what, and I don't have to feel like this anymore. And what really got me is it wasn't even just about the money. It was this fear that I wasn't gonna live up to what I thought I was capable of. Because I've got some pretty high fucking standards for myself. And, man, I really beat myself up when I feel like I'm not living up to them. Thank God I got an amazing support group. My girlfriend's incredible. She talks me through all that shit. But I never truly feel like I am doing enough, right? My clients will probably tell you, like, I go above and aboard. But even then, like, I want to give so much. I want to do so much. And nothing ever feels like enough. So this moment was really, really tough for me. Because I'm like, fuck it, like I've got this whole other level that I want to reach, and I'm just not going to hit it. And it was eating me alive. You know, not being broke. Money's one thing. Who cares about the money? Like, fuck, people are too tied up in money. But it was just being less than what I could be, right? So, you know what I did? I went and I dropped a fuck ton of money on a mentorship. Um, the mentorship actually cost me about the same as my entire expenses for the 3 month trip. So just keep that in mind. This was like 3 months of vacation that I spent on a mentorship to grow my business. Like a pretty ridiculous amount of money to just drop. Especially with no income coming in and like no idea where I'm gonna get the money from. Me like pondering going back to a full-time job. It sounds insane, right? My family thought so. I told them what I did, and it was another classic. I hear this all the time. Like, Drew, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, I've gotten that one a few times in my life, by the way. And I just had to sit in that and do it anyways. And here's what's wild, and kind of the whole point of this story. When I actually sent the money, I wasn't scared. Like, as soon as that it hit, I wasn't scared. I was fucking relieved. Like, I felt like a weight had been lifted off my chest. It was a lot of money, and I didn't even care because I fucking knew, and I mean this. Like, I knew in my bones I was making the right call, and it had nothing to do with like how the mentorship was structured or what systems they were going to teach me or what crazy new process. I didn't give a fuck about any of that. What I knew was that I finally just had a direction. And other people had seen success with that direction. And if other people can do it, I can fucking do it. If I've got a direction, it's over. Like, I fucking win. Because I will work like a fucking dog when I know where I'm going. The only thing that's ever stopped me my whole life is not knowing which way to go. Give me a direction, get the fuck out of my way. Like that's how I operate. It was probably like the easiest sale that guy's ever made in his life. Like, literally zero objections. Price dropped. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's go. Let's do it. And that's the thing, man. I didn't wait until I felt safe. It would have been easy to just be like, oh, fuck yeah, I got to figure this out for a few months. I got to make more money. Maybe I go back to this job and I save up for it, whatever. Spending that money was probably the least safe moment possible, right? I had no income. Money's flying out the door. My own family thinking I'd fucking lost it. And I did it anyways because waiting wasn't going to make me ready. Waiting was just going to hand me another average year that I'd lie in bed being mad at myself for, and I'm fucking done with those. I'm not doing that shit anymore. Okay, last one, and this one probably matters the most out of all three, funny enough, and it's the one that almost nobody takes action on until it's too fucking late. It's your relationship, here's how it dies. It's not usually like some big explosion, like some massive argument, and then you just, fuck you, I'm done. That's for the fucking movies, right? That's not real life. If you've ever been in a bad breakup, that shit, it's not like that. It dies slowly, right? Your work picks up, you got more on your plate, you start giving her the leftovers. She gets less time, she gets less attention. Maybe it's the other way around. You get less time, you get less attention, whatever it is, But yeah, you're at dinner, but you're not really there. You're like on your phone, fucking closing deals, putting out fires, whatever it is. You're thinking about work. You can't be present, and you tell her and you tell yourself that you'll make it up to her later. When you get through this rough patch, when the busy stretch is over, you seen the pattern here, right? And the distance kind of starts to set in, a little bit more every week, and you don't notice because it's so slow, right? But then one day maybe it shows up and you look across the table and maybe you just like you don't really know each other truly anymore. You don't have conversations like you used to. Maybe you go and you eat dinner together and then you watch a movie, but other than that, there's no quality in the quality of time that you spend together. And it didn't take some affair or like some big betrayal, some big argument. It just took neglect, 1,000 little like I'll give you the time and attention you deserve once this thing's done. That's what kills most relationships. But the worst part is like, man, you could probably see this shit coming. Like you can feel the drift starting. but you don't do anything about it because it's not on fire yet. It's not urgent, so it's like, okay, we can let it slide until it gets urgent. But by then it's too late. So here's mine. This is one that just happened recently between me and my girlfriend. I wonder how she'll feel about me talking about this. I don't know. Yeah, this is like super current happening in my life right now. My workload since taking on this mentorship obviously has been just skyrocketed. I'm working more than I ever have before. I don't want to say that. The painting business, I was working like literally 90-hour weeks in some cases, sleeping like fucking 3 hours a night. That was bad. But I'm working a shit ton, more than I have in years. Obviously, because I'm in a position where I'm literally all in on my business. And I had actually noticed I was starting to give Val less time than I used to. It was like creeping up, right? The exact thing I'm describing to you, just starting up in my own relationship. I caught myself doing this. And the big difference here is I really love this woman, right? So I didn't wait. I didn't go like, oh, she gets it. She knows I'm building this business for us. Like she knows I'm trying to build a future for us so we can like leave this country and do all these things. I'll make it up to her when things slow down because things aren't going to fucking slow down. That's the whole point of this video. We sat. When are things going to slow down? Because I plan on growing. I want to help as many men get in shape as possible, right? The workload's only going to pick up. So what we did is we sat down on purpose before anything was actually wrong, and we just talked about it like straight up, and we decided we have to put real quality time in the calendar each week, like actually blocked off in my schedule, protected, treated like it's as important as any like coaching conversation I booked, like team call, whatever. Because it is just as important as all these things. And I know how that sounds. Like, wow, Drew, you scheduled time with your girlfriend. How romantic. Like I don't care how it sounds. It works. We got ahead of it. And man, look at Dan Martell. He's a perfect example. I think his relationship with his wife is amazing. They understand each other incredibly well. He's obviously a huge role model of mine. What he's done with his business is incredible. And he's used like that savvy to just better his relationship with her. So that's exactly what I wanted to do. It was my inspiration for this. Yeah, it works. We got ahead of it. So we killed this drift before it ever set in. Instead of waiting till it's like burning in your face. And then we're trying to fucking pour water on it, which is what everybody else does. And it's so much harder. And half the time it's already too late anyways. Yeah, that's the move that nobody makes. You don't wait for the relationship to break to take action on it. You take action while it's still good. Because protecting something that's good is about 100 times easier than rebuilding something that you let fall apart. But that really takes being honest, like honest enough to act before there's a crisis. And most guys can't do this. They wait and then they fucking wonder what happened. So, yeah, look, three stories. My body, my business, my girl. 3 completely different parts of my life. 3 different years they could have happened in and or that they did happen in. And nothing to do with each other. What am I saying? 2 of those happened this year. You know what I mean. But it's the same lesson every single time. The one thing standing between you and the life you actually want, it's not your ability. It's not time, it's not money, it's not luck, it's not circumstance. It's your procrastination and the fact that you keep deciding to work at it later. That's your biggest fucking enemy. Delay. There's no fucking Monday, man. There is no tomorrow, Rock. What are you talking about? Have you seen that one? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, man, there's no tomorrow. There's no Monday. There's no next week, next month, next year. There's no when the kids are older. There's no once the business calms down. There's just fucking today, right? So here's what you do. And it's stupid simple because having things overcomplicated is just another place to hide. It's another excuse you can throw. Today, right? Not tomorrow. Today. Right now. Once you finish this video, there's like a minute left. I want you to take one action that the version of you that procrastinates and puts shit off wouldn't take. Just pick one, any one. Go to the gym. Have a tough conversation that you've been sitting on. Tell your mom you love her. Book the call with that coach, right? Make the investments in that business mentorship. Sit your girlfriend down and actually talk to her before there's a problem. Do one real move right now before you feel ready, because you're never going to feel ready. And that's the trap that you've been stuck in the whole time. You're not fixing your fitness, your business. You're not fixing your health, your wealth, or your relationships, right? By doing that one action. But what you're doing is becoming a guy who does take action. You're building that muscle, building that habit. You're casting a vote in favor of a man who does the hard shit now instead of later. And that version of you wins everywhere. In rooms he's not even thinking about, because it's just who he is now. This is who you're becoming, man. You have to take action on it. You have to take action on it now. The perfect time is what people tell themselves so that they feel all right by standing still. Perfect time doesn't exist. There's just time running right now while you sit there deciding. So stop deciding and fucking move. Go do the thing. Yeah. And man, if you're still watching and this hit you somewhere, do me a favor. Drop a comment. Tell me what the one thing you're done waiting on is. All right. Tell me what you're actually taking action on now. I want to hear it. If you like the content, go ahead and subscribe. You don't have to, but I don't want you getting this watered down version of what your life could actually be. And that's what this channel really is all about. It's about giving you all the tools and the mindset hacks to just become truly the best version of yourself. And then you can also come find me on Instagram at Dial Davies. Tag it down below. That's where I show you how I actually live this stuff day to day. I post 6 times a day on there. So that's it. Go do the fucking thing. I'll catch you in the next one.